A potentially damaging development for Hillary Clinton in her email scandal. The Justice Department and FBI granting immunity to Brian Pagliano in exchange for his testimony. Now, if you remember, Pagliano is the former Clinton staffer who set up her homebrew email server. And if you recall, he pled the Fifth when he was hauled before Congress last September, invoking his constitutional right against self-incrimination. Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano believes that this means that a grand jury is well underway, hearing evidence about Hillary's email use and so much more.
A federal judge would only grant immunity for a witness to testify. A witness could only testify if a grand jury was already hearing evidence. So if a grand jury is hearing evidence, the evidence was obtained by the FBI and delivered to the Justice Department. The Justice Department has decided it's going to indict someone. Not Brian Pagliano, the guy who installed her server in her house. They want him to testify against some person or persons north of him on the totem pole.
And if this is not enough of a bombshell, get this. The New York Times reporting that Hillary could possibly be questioned by the FBI within weeks and that their investigation could conclude by early May. That's according, reportedly, to an anonymous law enforcement official. Okay, Eric, first to you on the Pagliano getting immunity. As the judge pointed out, it looks like they're going higher for an indictment.
Yeah, well, okay, so two types of immunity. Immunity on whatever he testifies to right now, or a general immunity. I'm guessing it would be the former, not the latter, saying whatever you say now, we'll grant you immunity so you can't be prosecuted for it. Interesting. I think that's just basic legal, good legal counsel saying if you're going to do this, you demand immunity. Fine. The issue, though, for me is right now this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is a civil lawsuit. Right, so they're looking and they're bringing civil charges to investigate and see if they can charge her with anything civilly. If they were to turn and say, "Wow, we found enough now," and say and turn it into a criminal lawsuit,
I see where you're going.
And indicting her on a criminal lawsuit, I think that would be a big, huge, momentous thing. Outside of that, I think this is a bit of a fishing expedition. By the way, the Democrats, they don't really care anyway.
Well, you know, our unit here, our investigative unit led by Pamela Brown, Catherine Herridge, have been looking into this very closely. Here are the things that we at Fox have been wondering, the parameters that were set for that server. You know, specifically the logistics of what it would be handling. The passwords. You see some reporting today on who got passwords and whether or not those people had the kinds of clearances with classified information in those emails. And what were the conversations that would have been had about sensitive material within the emails that the Secretary of State, no doubt, would have been fielding since she didn't have a .gov. Those are the things that you would look to a Brian Pagliano to be able to tell you since he set it up. He has not spoken. He has been the ungettable. This makes him gettable, and I kind of see where you're going with this. If they get enough in a civil case, does that change immunity? That's an excellent question for the judge, but for right now, gosh, it would be great to get some of this information.
We have it. We already have it, and it's OSINT. Sandra, we don't need Pagliano, and you know why? The FBI has 1,100 emails that show that not just Huma Abedin, but others who are also being investigated were conspiring while they were under investigation by the FBI to cover all of this up. Can you imagine the hubris, Sandra? 1,100 emails. They're already being investigated, and they are conspiring on how to cover it up. This is criminal, and it is punishable of a felony proportion.
Okay, but so then the whole point of this is to prove that there was intent, because we still have to rely on what Hillary Clinton uses as the excuse for having this private email server set up, and that was convenience, right? So Pagliano first, right? Judge Napolitano says now they go up the ladder. He's actually predicting, Judge is, I spoke with him this morning, that there is going to be an indictment somewhere along the line by May. So it's amazing, Andrea, and I wonder, Megan, if this surprises you guys, how fast this is actually progressing considering this is an election
year. I'm not a conspiracy theorist traditionally, but all of a sudden I'm like, are they waiting until she becomes the nominee to take her out? Like, are people in the Obama administration have this much animosity still kept up towards her? And this is the type of thing where I'm like, give me the popcorn, give me the beer. I love to watch her squirm more than anything, but it looks like that could actually be what's happening.
Written proof that they were conspiring to suppress evidence is huge, and it's not getting enough coverage in the media. All right.